Creators Circle is a weekly call for creators like you to ask your questions about the law of attraction. To get information on how to connect, please go to cocreationcoaching.org/creators circle.
Welcome to Creator Circle number 4. I'm glad we have a really full house today. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah. Good. I am. This is my actually second time, but first time on like this. But I just set up. I don't know if you can see much of it, but I got a little personal office set up in my house. A nice desk. Got everything all set up in here. So it's really cool. I'm really excited about it because when I would see clients, Christine would always have to leave the room because it's private, and I would only ever do it in the living room because we don't have a very big house. So we finally set up this little spare room as kind of a personal office. That's really nice. I like it. So I'm excited. So everyone's doing well though?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, good.
So all right. So what? Let's start. Any questions about the law of attraction? Any topics you'd like to discuss? Anything else?
Well, I'll throw something out.
Okay.
Well, it's probably like an old thing, but I went back to your blog post about signs because I'm back to getting for 6 months I've been getting these intense, over the top, hardcore crazy signs about someone and nothing ever comes from it. And I read about your blog post today that I hadn't ever read about the signs and how they can just be manifested so easily and don't necessarily mean something is coming. And it was really helpful for me because I was just like, okay, so this isn't necessarily, these are just signs I'm probably creating, and they don't necessarily point to exactly what I'm going towards or that's getting close to me or whatever. I thought it was very helpful, but the sign thing has been a big thing for me. I don't know. And I found it, Brendan, you and I talked about this once. I found it a little bit misleading at times. So it was helpful.
Yeah, I understand the signs are a tough one because it's hard to know whether it's coming from the universe or whether it's coming from our own resistance, our own manifestations or whatever. So I know that's a really hard one. For me, which post was that again that you was talking about signs?
I don't remember the name of it, but it was
about signs.
Really? Thank you. You're very helpful.
It was about signs coming and then the manifestation never arriving. Like you getting months, like weeks.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's you can get the signs, but it's only really showing. Okay, yeah, I can get the signs, but it's a totally different level. Like a lot of people think that the sign is basically one level removed from the actual manifestation. But in that post, I said that signs are actually pretty cheap. Signs are easy to develop. Signs are easy to get because it's really just it's easy. It doesn't take much effort, much subconscious alignment to start getting signs. But to actually get to the actual manifestation takes a lot more energy. And so people get that confused a lot. So signs, so what was your major either confusion with that or question that answered?
I think just because I think sometimes I follow the signs instead of just seeing that I created this sign and it's kind of the first step in me going towards a manifestation that I may or may not want, but because it's actually about a person that I had been attempting to sort of manifest or connect with for a very long time. And today I hadn't really thought about this person. And today a ton of signs came to me and made me feel very frustrated, actually, because I was like, this isn't happening. And I don't even know if this is what I want anymore. So, it's saying the whole signs are cheap thing, I think is very valuable, Yeah. Because at least in the spiritual realm, I'm sure, I know a lot of people have probably been like, exploring the spiritual realm for a long time. Oh, yeah. There are many people who think signs are like the end all be all, and I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you, but I've never heard it put like quite that way.
I think signs are sort of a delayed manifestation. What I mean by that is, I've told the story before about a few years ago, we were thinking about moving to California.
Yeah.
And we started immediately getting tons of signs. I mean, everywhere signs, and at the time I thought it was like that. It was it was kind of like one level removed from the actual manifestations. We're like, oh yeah, we're really close, And then we decided to not actually move, but still for what, Christine, like a good few weeks, a month, we kept getting signs about California. It took time for that momentum to sort of peter out. So it's not like an instant reflection of what you're doing or what you're working on. It can actually take time. Once you stop putting energy into it, it can take time to slow down and, to stop altogether if you're not doing. So the big important thing, I think, is just because you're getting a sign, that doesn't mean that's what the universe wants you to do.
Yeah.
I think that's the big important thing. Because for me, I could take that as, well, because I got this sign, that means the universe wants me to move to California. Or for you, because you got this sign, that means the universe wants you to be with this person. That may not be the case. It just means that, I think, for me, it just means that road is open.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like an open signal, like if you want to go down this road, it's here. So, and I was thinking about just the other day, I've been doing a lot of work with them. We'll be talking about this in the podcast soon. But anyway, I was thinking a lot about past life work recently. I got certified in past life regression a few years ago. And so I was thinking about past life work, especially when it comes to resistance and when it comes to, resistance that isn't just based in this life, that we actually deal with from life to life. I don't want to get too deeply into it because we're gonna really open up that topic on the podcast. But I've been thinking a lot about that, and with that, I was thinking about, should I 2 years ago, I thought about getting my hypnotherapy certification.
You would have been amazing at it, though.
I know. And I was really thinking about it. At the time, it was, the reason we didn't, partly because I just wasn't sure if I wanted to, partly because of the money at the time, which now doesn't seem like that much, does it? But, recently I was thinking, should I go back and get that? Like, should I get that certification just to have it, just to be able to include that in my work? I have the NLP certification and the master certification, but should I get that as sort of something to add on? And then, it was sort of a nothing. I don't even know if I call it a sign. Remember, Christine, today what we were just watching and they talked about hypnosis?
Yes.
Yeah. We were watching a show and it was just, and they were talking, this person did hypnosis and it helped with what they were trying to do. And I was like, oh, that's a nifty little. Now, is that telling me the universe thinks I should, or that it's just open? I honestly don't know. I would need more concrete, definitive signs. Yeah.
I actually take it as that it is open if you'd like to go
it's
there.
Open. Mm.
And you can explore it. And then the sign, if you truly commit to it, you'll be able to discern by your signs or your feelings whether you should do it or not. But to me, it's a lot of times signs, you do have to be able to distinguish between, is it just saying, hey, the road is open, or is the road
do
open
this.
or should I do this? You know,
That's
like,
what your guides want you to do.
just kind of, you got to be able to discern that. And, you know, so for me, that's just kind of how it seems.
Yeah, I sort of think that because I know your spirit guides can give you signs too, but I think that if you're not putting active focus into a manifestation and you're still getting signs about something, that might mean that your guides are hinting like, hey, you might want to go this direction.
You might want to take a look.
Now, not if, like I said in my example before, not if it's still cooling down from a previous manifestation, then it's just leftover momentum. But if it's just like you're thinking about should I do this or not, but not actually focusing, not visualizing, not doing, really doing much with it, and then the signs start popping up, then that might be something from your guides that's saying you might want to do this. But
And
if
also,
it might not be something that it might not be as specific.
Yeah.
It might be the signs can connect you to something that's similar to what you wanted, but not quite that. So that's a lot of times I've noticed that if you focus on something like a pinprick, like I got to have that one thing, you'll get some of the same signs, but they're really trying to lead you to something that's similar, but not quite it.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Christine?
I was saying, couldn't it also be the scientific thing where when you think about something, it shows up everywhere? What's it called in the brain?
The RAS, reticular activating system.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, but I don't really take that as a negation of signs. I just take that as a scientific explanation of why signs can happen. But yeah, if I think like I said, if you're focusing on something and you start seeing it, that's just the road's open. That's okay. You can go there if you want to, but it's hard to distinguish that, isn't it? I mean, it's really difficult. So I think you have to you can either do, divination, or you can just not focus on it for a while and, see what the universe says, your guides say, and be like, okay, can you tell me what direction you think is best? But they might not do that at the same time.
You can also do something I call stirring the energy. Just walk down that road for a little bit and see what you get, see what it feels like. And you can always stop. You don't have to keep going. Right.
You'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard to know if it's you or if it's the universe, and it takes a lot of discerning and a lot of intuition too to kind of find that out. But like Justin said, there's nothing wrong with just walking down that path. That's what I did when I was thinking about going to school again for like accounting.
Yeah.
And I walked down that road and then I figured out, that's not it.
I mean, you don't want to do that for everything, but sometimes you're going to do it. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've explored some stuff. I explored teaching at a shop that I like to go to, and I walked down that road a little bit and sensed that it was really just sort of a dead end. So I knew I wasn't going to do it before she told me it wasn't really going to work. I said, okay, I already knew. I saw it in the spirit. It's fine.
Yeah. So that's definitely something you have to discern and use your intuition with and try to figure out, what the best thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. Any questions about that? Shay, does that answer your question pretty well?
I mean, I think it's helpful just because today when it popped up back, not that it's bad, but it was kind of like a dream I had for a little while. Well, for a long while. And now I'm just kind of over it. And I'm like, seriously, I don't want to see. Like, I really saw these signs today pointing to this person. And I was like, okay, that's enough. I really did feel that way. I felt sort of like, I almost felt like, it's my choice. That's what I feel like at the end of the day. It's my choice. And I mean, I definitely work with spirit guides, and maybe this is the wrong thing to say. I don't know how people feel about this, but I feel the spirit guides, they work for me. They're here to help me. That's how I feel, That's how I feel. And today I felt like you guys can like Okay, that's enough. I'm not gonna, I've had enough.
But I don't.
No,
It doesn't sound like it was them though that was giving you that sign.
No.
It
It
was
just sounds
you.
like it was you.
It was
It
you.
was just leftover momentum, I think. I mean, especially if you say no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing.
Here's one thing you can do.
Go ahead, Justin.
I mean, you say no kind of on a gut reaction, and that's, it's probably accurate. But you want to make sure is that an initial reaction, or is that a deep, like real instinctive? So is that like a knee jerk, my conscious mind, or is that a egoic? There you go, Brandon. That was what I was looking for. Or is that a deep kind of, one from your actual, higher or real self, so what's not ego? What's the other word we use, Brandon? Essence. So is that a core reaction? And, once again, you can try that road, or you can just do divination, or you could commit to it and see what it feels like. But since the signs are there, I always test the energy if it's a sign and it's there, just in case. Because sometimes I've given myself an egoic reaction, like, yeah, or no. And then, it was the opposite. I mean, I know I've done that. So, go on and
sometimes, like, I've been thinking about this lately. The universe, like your guides wouldn't tell you something that you really don't want to do. Like there's no, for me anyway, I don't know, some people might disagree with this, but there's no such thing as like, you got to take your medicine and just deal with it. I don't really, that's just such an egoic perspective for me. I'm not saying it'll always be enjoyable, but I don't think your guides will ever tell you something that, I mean, it might be difficult, but the end thing is going to be something you enjoy. They're not going to say, well, hey, you have to go, do this thing that you absolutely hate just because it's the highest good. They're not going to do that, Now, if it's one step that's sort of, I'm scared, it's a challenge, whatever, then sure. But that the end goal is something you really want, and that's
your PhD.
Like they're here to help you. Like you said, they're here to serve you. They're not here to like give you something that you don't want to do. Like, my guide said I had to date this person, so I better do it.
They're there to present you options and to give you the best way to carry them out. Whether you want to or not, it's up to you.
Yeah. So that's how I think about it.
Ability is the interpretation, and whether the interpretation is correct or not.
Exactly.
For me, just picking up a message or picking up a feeling is big cheese, and then having to interpret what that means along the scale is like a totally different step.
Yeah, interpretation can be hard. It's just, I think as you work with that, though, it gets easier. I mean, for me, it hasn't really been too hard. Sometimes when there's a lot of resistance, it's hard. But in general, I don't find it too difficult, but it certainly can be, I think. But if you trust your intuition and you kind of just let yourself go along that path and go where it goes and feel the flow and whatever, then for me, the interpretation has never been very difficult, but I think it can be for sure.
Oh, sometimes it has.
Yeah, well, that's why I said sometimes, but usually it just depends.
That's normal, like, especially when it's yourself.
Well, one thing I've been doing is, ever since our discussion on the core essence last Friday, I've been, when I'm really having issues with something, or when I'm just kind of feeling disconnected, I feel like I realize I feel disconnected sometimes. And so I've been connecting with my core more often, like a meditation. And I'll just take a few minutes and go into what I used to, call the zero state. Well, I still call it that. I just haven't talked about it much. Go into the zero state, just delve into that core of beingness, of essence, of soul, and just let myself be there. No visualization, no motivation, no intentions, nothing. No, hidden motives or anything. Just go into that place and let myself be there. And that has done a lot of inner, I guess, healing for me. Like it feels a lot better when I do that. And so when I do that, it's easier for me to know, okay, this is the intention of my higher self, or, my guides, or my core essence, or whatever. This is where I'm going, because sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that. And so that's one thing I did it this morning. Like I want to do that like in the morning if I can, because it helps them kind of feel better throughout the day, because if just more guidance, more connection. But that's one thing I think is helpful, connecting with yourself, connecting with your higher self, your core, whatever. And that will help you interpret really well also. But I think that we spend so much time sort of out in the ego, like, what if this thing doesn't happen? I'm just trying to push through to get to my goal. How often do you actually check in with your core, with your soul, with your higher self? And that self never feels that rush, never feels that urgency to get to the goal. It knows it's there. So when you do that, sorry if your cat is really trying to get into this room.
No, I think he's in there.
No, he's not. He's outside, I think. I can check, but I'm pretty sure he's outside and trying to get in.
Oh.
I have a conference call with my cat.
I heard him.
Yeah. We need to get like a little cat door in here, and like so he can come in and out. Because I guarantee you, if I open that door, all he's gonna do is come in, and I'll shut the door, and 2 minutes later he'll scratch to get out.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought I heard him in there with you.
I don't think so, but I'll check afterwards. Anyway, but your higher self never feels that urgency, like I have to get this today. It knows, it has the bigger picture. It knows what's coming up. It knows where you are. It knows that everything's possible. So for me, it's been really, it's helped a lot to connect and to kind of soak in that essence, and gives you a lot of guidance, okay, and a lot of perspective. Like, okay, I don't have to rush with things. I don't have to, still have the tension of the goal, obviously, but you don't have to be in that the high resistance state and everything. That for me has been helping a lot.
Does anybody have an app that I was doing the Headspace app for
I've heard of it.
a long time, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And does anybody have an app? Are we allowed to ask this during, I don't know, is that like...
Yeah. Okay.
Does anyone have an app that they use? Because I was doing Headspace for a long time, and it was amazing, but it's based on themes. And I have to actually be careful, because I went into this theme of like change, and then everything started happening in reverse. Like everything started changing because I was doing a change meditation. So does anyone have an app they really like?
No, what is? I don't even know what that is.
Headspace is like a meditation mindfulness.
I've never heard of it.
I love it.
It's not accessible, Justin. It's not accessible. I've tried it.
Well, then
No,
never mind.
I
I do not need a silly app.
I love it.
I'm kind of traditional when it comes to that. I just kind of take a few minutes and breathe and listen to music and just sort of hang out with myself.
And that's what I do.
If you're going to get an app, don't let it be a guided meditation. That's not really the intention here. You can do that for certain intentions, but not for this core sort of connection.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I've kind of stopped doing it, was because at that time I was doing it to manifest something, and it was really helping. But now that thing, I think, is not working for me. So maybe that is it, is what you're saying.
Well, guided meditations are okay
for intentions.
And if the intention is very clear. But if you, it's got to be clear. If you're not like 100% sure, they're really good for like one shot. Oh, we're going to release this, or we're going to go on a journey to, maybe heal or make someone feel better emotionally or something like that, or heal some pain. But if it's, I got to manifest this goal, I'm not exactly sure how it is, I just need to feel the energy. Guided meditation doesn't help you as much on that.
Well, their creativity, they have a theme on creativity, and I'll tell you, it was huge for me. It helped me a lot.
That's awesome.
But all the other ones, that's exactly how I feel. Is what Justin just said. I don't feel like it's exactly what you guys are saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I was going to do a guided meditation, I did something a couple of days ago, which was a shamanic journey kind of for myself. I did it and, was meditation, and the griffin picked me up and carried me somewhere, and I did some stuff like that. I won't go into it too much, but I did something like that. And there are certain guided shamanic journeys, trances, like music that I didn't use that might be of, a little bit, they're more deep, they're deeper than guided meditations, but you don't really need those either. You just kind of, you don't really need those either, but you can use them if you want.
Right. Yeah. So I would just do mindfulness, or just like,
okay.
It's just so much more helpful just to be with yourself and not have any other interruptions or any other, guidance or anything like that from the outside. Like, I would just go into yourself if you can. I mean, some people say they really, really, really can't. I don't know how much I believe that. I think it's just practice.
Yeah, it's practice.
So if you practice at it and, you'll get there. But, it's just it's just a matter of trying and doing it every day. I mean, sometimes it takes a few minutes. If you have a ton of resistance built up, sometimes it takes a few minutes.
Sometimes it's okay to actually just sit there quietly and don't do anything, and then tap your core essence.
Yeah. Well, it'll take you there, too. That's what I mean. It'll take you there.
I feel the same way about binaural beats.
Yeah, those are good. I'm kind of skeptical. I've never really had, I've tried them. I've never really had.
Tried what?
Success.
Oh, the paraliminals?
No, binaural beats. Those use those with technology. But, if it works for you, don't a lot of those have, words over top of it? Like, if it's just the music with the beats or whatever, that's probably okay.
Yeah, you can
because that's subconscious.
Just set at certain levels. So, I don't know, 500 hertz is the heart chakra or something like that.
That's probably okay. I mean, I just wouldn't have words. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't do words. Because words interrupt your conscious mind. And it just, for me, it's you want to go as internally as possible.
Yes, you can. I don't do words. Maybe chants. But even then, you don't.
So, it's something that you can just kind of zone out to. You can't really zone out with words. You're paying attention to what they're saying.
Well, the paraliminals kind of make you go weird.
Well, those are cool because those are they're one voice is in each ear. It's also confusing, but I don't know.
Creepy though, because you're one minute you're conscious, huh?
It's really cool though.
1 minute you're conscious, the next minute it's the end of it, and I'm just like, oh.
That's sort of the point.
Yeah.
So, if anyone else has apps or anything else you recommend, go ahead. You can open up with that.
I've thought about using some of those, though. I just haven't. I know I have a friend that's recorded some. I think I have his CD. I don't know where it is, but he has some African chants that
Oh, that's cool.
Sanmara. That's what he does.
That's really awesome. So I would just practice that and see what works for you, but I just wouldn't do words. That's my thing. I just wouldn't do words. So any other final questions or topics or anything else that you'd like to bring up? Anyone? Okay. Last chance. All right. So I think that was really good. So like I said, this podcast this Friday, I'm excited for the past lives thing. I've been reading a book actually about that, which is really interesting. But I'll talk about it on the podcast, so I would check that out. I appreciate everyone joining today, and I hope that this discussion helped. So otherwise, I hope everyone has a great week.
All right, have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.